My name is Bill Stahl. I am the CEO, co-founder, and chief qualitative scientist of ThinkSheet Inc. Welcome to this episode in our ThinkSheet, the real world, yesterday, today, and tomorrow playlist. ThinkSheet, the next generation podcast, featuring the global macro case study, country risk reward ranking, and ThinkSheet's one page, one place, one platform, and signature output, the one pager. The original user was a global strategist with a reputation similar to Byron Wien of Blackstone. Ongoing sources include Stephen Roach, formerly head of Morgan Stanley Asia and now a professor at Yale, and Jim Chanos, the leading short seller, from their Bloomberg TV debates with respect to China's soft versus hard landing. Henry Kissinger and Dr. Doom Nurul-Robini. Team's questions include: what are the issues? What are the drivers? Who are the thought leaders? What's new? And how do we narrate the story? And what are the most similar models and modules in the ThinkSheet case library and our own proprietary ThinkSheet case library? ThinkSheet cases are similar to Westlaw cases for lawyers, in that new cases are constantly being added, and the case library is searchable for historical precedents to create new ThinkSheet models with maximum accuracy and speed. As always, our case studies feature the qualitative issues like Robert Schiller's Animal Spirits, cultural differences, China and Confucius, the West, Christianity, Israel, and the Middle East. Xi Jinping and his main competitor for leadership of the Communist Party, Bo Xilai, who's been in prison since 2012. Drivers, debt-fueled development without equivalent economic benefit, the ghost cities in 2010, and unfinished apartments in 2023, like Evergrande with its huge debt defaults. Xi's signature project since first elected in 2012, the Belt and Road. And what's new? COVID and Ukraine war did not exist until 2020 and 2022, respectively, and have been integrated into the models. Thought leaders like David Darst, who wrote the book on asset allocation, for the country risk reward framework. These are the real world metrics for Stephen Roach's soft landing framework and Jim Chanos' hard landing framework. First, the ranking of the 7 large economies. This is a soft landing ranking view, communicated as a visual story for fast and easy cognition and debate, highlighting the most positive drivers in green and negative drivers in red. Brazil is first at 89%, China second at 86%, and the US fifth at 8%. 3 scenarios, so the team can iterate through alternative what-if scenarios on the fly in meetings. Users occasionally weight the financial and economic data 0%, trust the published numbers, like a hedge fund manager who didn't trust the global bank numbers during the financial crisis. And today, the Chinese government's COVID numbers. The tier 2 political and social submetrics and weights, and economic and financial weights, both customizable on the fly for each scenario. ThinkSheet automates the metrics ranking whenever the team changes the weights. And the critical issues, catalyst, risk, and X factors are usually the highest individual weights. You can see the alternative scenarios for each country, driven by the catalyst. Roach's 200 to 600 million people moving into the middle class, a triple plus green, and Chanos, the empty cities, a triple minus red, with a huge 186% difference in scores for China and ranking moving from second to seventh and last. The qualitative factors are the drivers, communicated in symbolic language users, colleagues, and clients understand. Everyone can see the complete thought process for both scenarios as a visual story, and debate each data point and judgment and see the consequences instantly. Our users and partners have continuously updated this country risk reward use case, like Stephen Roach last year declaring himself no longer a congenital China bull, while Jim Chanos remains a China bear. Remember that the country risk reward models, like all ThinkSheet models, are modular. And models like US-China relations, the chip war, and the war in Ukraine can be used for other use cases like business resiliency for the C-suite, portfolio management for equities, oil prices for commodities, and industrial policies and national security by the US government.